The Nintendo Switch 2 is right around the corner, so this is the perfect time to pick up and play all the games that you ever would want to for your Nintendo Switch. Because let's face it, when the greater, better console is released sometime in 2025, you're going to be playing most of your games on that particular console for that particular console. But we are still in 2024, so let's talk about some games that you may want to consider playing right at this moment. How about Jurassic Park Classic Games Collection? A 7-in-1 gaming goodness combo. What more could you ask for? Now granted, the games that came out way back in the day on the Genesis and other systems, perhaps SNES, I'm not 100% sure, but I know for a fact Genesis is well represented here. They were relatively good games, not the greatest and definitely not the worst. But for people craving that classics nostalgia that they want to use or relive on the Nintendo Switch, you really cannot go wrong with this Jurassic Park gaming compilation. I personally played through the Genesis version, didn't finish the game, but definitely had a decent enough time with it, and definitely would recommend it for those that are looking for old school 2D platformers with a little bit of action mixed in. Now, if you truly are a fan of old school hack and slash platformers, then perhaps you want to play something newer that maybe represents what games used to feel like back in the day. Well, here comes Slave Zero X, a really fascinating cybernetic ninja futuristic title that takes a lot of inspiration from classic 2D hack and slash gaming. You play in a futuristic United States, where pretty much everyone is a slave, and you are defying the rules of slavery. Story is not the most original, but hey, it works for this game. What really matters is the brutal and brilliant hack and slash combat. The game packs quite a punch when it comes to difficulty, and I really enjoyed some of the boss battles. Now when it comes to platforming, this is where this game does not perform that well. As a matter of fact, I would consider this game to have pretty weak platforming. But when it comes to combat, when it comes to hack and slash gameplay, and when it comes to some pretty cool and challenging boss battles, Slave Zero X is definitely a game that you want to check out. My copy of the game is Japanese, but it plays perfectly fine in English. However, if you wanted to get a ESRB rating game, those also do exist. Next up, I wanted to talk about a pretty popular franchise right now that doesn't really need any introductions. We're talking about Splatoon 3. Now this game is very familiar to many Switch enthusiasts out there, but I wanted to specifically highlight the campaign that this game offers, and probably the most challenging aspect of the campaign is figuring out how to initiate it, how to start it, where to go, because that is probably the most frustrating part about it. But once you do figure it out, you are going to find yourself immersed in a very well designed, well crafted Nintendo world that kind of acts as a tutorial for all the tools, gadgets, and equipment that you're going to be using throughout your multiplayer experience. We have all played Splatoon 3, at least the ones who have played it, and probably played most of our time on the multiplayer aspect of it, myself included. But I went back to this game and started playing through the campaign and was surprised on how good and how enjoyable the overall gameplay was, and how much fun and entertaining it was. If you have Splatoon 3 just sitting around, you have played enough multiplayer, you're tired of losing in multiplayer battles, tired of people mocking you, making fun of you, well, I guess that doesn't really happen on this game, but still, you can go back to single player and enjoy a relaxing and at times challenging single player campaign. Trine 5 really did shock me in a good way. Now, I'm not totally unfamiliar with the series. I played the very first Trine way back in the day. I decided to give Trine 5 a shot because why not? I have it in my collection, right? And what a pleasant surprise. You play as 3 different characters, each with their own individual skill set that you use to maneuver various thoughtfully placed and at times very challenging puzzles to get through the story. The story kind of plays like a fairy tale, sorta, kinda, not really, but it's really not about the story. It is more about the intricate level of puzzle solving that you have to go through in order to progress, and it gets rather challenging. And challenging, I guess, in a good way. Yes, you probably will get stuck a few times, and you're probably going to have to look up how to solve certain areas, but once you do figure out the solution, you're going to get upset at yourself for not thinking through the process. But don't worry about it. Give Trine 5 a shot. There are some frustrating moments, but all in all, if you're looking for a very challenging but extremely unique and rather entertaining 2D puzzle platformer, definitely check out Trine 5. One of the things that I really like to revisit from time to time are sports games. I love them, but I didn't want to play the typical Nintendo sports titles, so I went to go look for something else, and I found Curse to Golf, a very interesting take on the sports genre, golfing genre if you will. It's a golf game, but it's a rogue-like golf game, and what that entails basically is that you have to complete your holes in a certain number of shots, otherwise, guess what? You start from the beginning. Game sounds easy enough at the beginning, but it gets very challenging very fast. There's a lot of trying to figure out where to go, and at times it can get frustrating. But still, this is a very unique and rather enjoyable golfing game. If you are looking for something way different than your typical Mario Golfs, Tiger Woods, or any other golf story, for example, give Curse to Golf a shot. You will be pleasantly surprised. It is a roguelike, and the map structure kind of works like if you have played Slay the Spire. The menus kind of work in the same way. You generate your own path, either go left, right. Those are usually the options. And basically you compete against mini bosses and finally end the game with some major bosses. But if you lose, you go all the way back to the beginning, which admittedly does kind of suck. But still, I would give Curse to Golf a shot. You will definitely have an enjoyable time, especially if you like golfing games with a little bit of a unique twist. And folks, with that, those are my recommendations for the Nintendo Switch for this week. I plan on releasing a lot more videos in similar fashion, similar style, because I really want to focus on the Switch until the next system is revealed and eventually released. Yes, we're going to be playing that down the road, but why not focus on the stuff that we have right now? Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.